Hi, my name is Mike Mcmanis. I'm a professional cosplayer specializing in horror characters as well as comic characters. I'm also a professional haunt actor. By day, I'm a infrastructure tester.
Hi, I'm James Hannon, author of Anatomy of a Cosplayer, Tales from Behind the Mask, and welcome to Cosplayer Hotspot, where we interview cosplayers from around the region who are interesting. Today we have Mike Mcmanis. How you doing?
Hi.
And we'll be interviewing him and finding out what makes him tick and go from there. Hope you enjoy it. Ready to go?
Sure.
All right.
I got started in cosplaying by, actually I was decorating my house for Halloween because I'm a big home haunter. My neighbor from 4 doors down came down. He cosplays as Freddy Krueger. Based on my size, he thought that I would be a good Jason because Freddy versus Jason had just came out at the time. So I gave it a try with Jason. Me and him both went to a film festival, and it was a hit. Everyone seemed to like the characters, so I continued from there, and now I'm having a great time doing it. I have a couple different categories of costumes. One are the horror costumes, and the second being the comic costumes. For horror, I depict Michael Myers. I depict Frankenstein's monster. The original Pennywise, depicted by Tim Curry. David from The Lost Boys. Jason from Freddy vs. Jason. The comic side, he's probably my most popular. Green Goblin from 1987. The original Doctor Strange. The Punisher. Abra Kadabra is another one from the DC universe. He's a Flash rogue. My favorite is Green Goblin from the comic book side because just my personality is to be more villainous, and I think it tends to allow me to be more interactive with the general public if I can be more myself. I'm a huge horror fan. Even though it gets mixed reviews, it's still one of my favorite movies from the 90s. I found a guy named Juan Garcia at Altered Flesh FX that made original Pennywise masks. It was a little pricey. At the time, I was getting hired by tattoo conventions and making some pretty decent money doing it, so I didn't have any problem with getting the mask. So he basically wears a clown costume, a yellow suit, a black vest with red trim, and a ruffle. Ruffle's like blue, purple, and some white in it. And then the mask is obviously white face, red bulbous nose, red fluffy hair. And then there's red lenses that I wear with a yellow splash of color in them. And then black eye paint to kind of make everything look more realistic. And then, of course, there's the balloons, so everybody can see me and get creeped out by me. So Green Goblin was one of my first characters I put together. I'm a big Marvel fan, mostly a lot of Spidey stuff. You can tell by my attire and this. So I found the mask. The mask was on Composite Effects. It's licensed by Marvel, so it's an authentic mask. It's a replica of the 1987 Tom Morgan Green Goblin. Comes with the hat, so that made it even easier. The gloves are easy to find. Everything basically here. There's a green Zentai suit. We had airbrushed some scales on the Zentai suit around the arms and the thighs and general areas are supposed to be. Purple tunic was also made for this, and I found a couple of the man purses on eBay at different times. They're actually fossil bags. They're like $6 each. So once the character was done, I was like walking around cons, and I'm thinking like, a few people asked me like, "Where's the glider?" And I'm like, yeah, I feel incomplete. So I'm like, all right, I got to start making a glider. So I had a buddy that does the Hobgoblin. Brad Austenberger, his name is. And he had designed a glider specifically for the Hobgoblin. They're two different characters, so they have two different gliders. So mine, I basically took a hoverboard. I had to find a hoverboard that would support my weight. So I had to larger one with the all-terrain wheels. Spec'd out the dimensions for the glider because the wings have to be a certain size, so they'll support my feet being in the middle. So I just basically cut that all out of foam, used some magnets to secure it to the hoverboard. Probably took about 2 months of me being on the hoverboard before I was comfortable with going out on the con floor. Jumped on it, and it seemed like it was a success at cons. So there's two types of masks I have. There's the Michael Myers mask, which is a latex mask. That tends to deteriorate over time. So you kind of have to pay a little more detail with that and kind of keep it clean and clean up the sweat and everything. Then there's a silicone mask, which is really form-fitting on your face. It'll allow you to emote. So actually the lips will move when you speak. Most people can tell your expression from the mask. And the best part about it is you just pop it off and you can eat, you can drink, you know, whatever. And it's just so much more convenient than dealing with prosthetics and makeup. Prosthetics tend maybe to loosen up or fall off your face. Masks are much better as far as I'm concerned. They might be a little pricier, but to me, in the long run, it's worth it. So I started, I guess about 5 years ago at Our Haunt. I was at a horror convention handing out my cards. I go by the label Disturbed Cosplay. Gave one to Jim Reed, who runs Bloodshed Farms, and he hired me as a professional haunt actor there. Actually, I had to audition first. So Bloodshed Farms is down in Columbus, New Jersey. Our haunt season starts September 28th. Goes all the way through October into November 1st and 2nd. If you go to bloodshedfarms.com, you'll see more schedule details. Bloodshed Farms has 4 main attractions: a clown area, an insane asylum, a hayride, and a trail of terror. I work in the party area, mainly as Michael Myers. I do Jason, I do Pennywise. A lot of the iconic characters. I actually made a girl. My crowning glory is I made a girl pee her pants last year. So another horror event that I am associated with is New Jersey Horror Con. You'll see me walking around the con as a cosplay entertainer. Typically we organize the costume contest for them. I host the costume contest. That happens in October. Actually, this year it's October 11th through the 13th down in the Showboat in Atlantic City. If you want more information about that, go to NewJerseyHorrorCon.com. Best costuming experience was Chiller back in 2016. I actually got to meet Tim Curry. I was dressed as Pennywise. I walked in, I said, "Hiya, Timmy." And he looked at me and he's like, "Oh, you're as creepy as I am." And I had the best feeling from that. I just felt like I was doing a really good job. So I sat down next to him, took some pictures, and after that we whispered quotes in each other's ears. And it was quite an interesting experience. So my worst costuming experience was I had just won an award. I'm not going to say what convention because I don't want any bad blood with conventions. I was dressed as this guy, Green Goblin, walking along, just down the aisle. I had walked past a blow-up sliding board. There was a couple young boys about 9, 10 years old. They saw me, they yelled down at me. Of course, I wasn't just going to walk by and not say anything. So I responded, I yelled back at them. Little did I know, there's probably a 3 or 4-year-old girl behind her. She started crying. Security guard heard her crying and automatically assumed that I was harassing a little girl, which wasn't the case at all. So I did feel really good about that. I was asked to take the mask off and just to show her that I was a real person. So I did that. I obliged them, even though I didn't really do anything wrong. And I guess I felt better about the whole situation after it was resolved. So I cosplay so I can attend events. That's one of the reasons. That allows me to socialize with other cosplayers, socialize with the general public. I can interact with kids that enjoy the characters. I can team up with the Spider-Man and we could take pictures together. There's also people that enjoy horror characters, killing them or being involved in a scene like that. So it's really just for entertainment purposes. It lets me express myself, lets me be a little creative, and that's basically it. For me, I'm going to be debuting Slender Man at New Jersey HorrorCon. I'm not sure which day, but I found some really good makeup tutorials and prop making tutorials on him. So he's coming up next. As far as comic characters, we're looking at Morbius from the 90s version of Spider-Man. We're looking at Scorpion. I'll eventually get that done. It's been like over a year in the making. I'm going to work on Super Skrull actually too. As far as future of cosplay, I think the only changes are really going to be in the materials that are used for building and the methods and technology that people use to build costumes and props. Hopefully more charity type groups will appear. We need more of that, but that's where I see the future of cosplay going. I would say I'm more of a cosplayer. I tend to lean more towards the entertainment aspect of it instead of the creative side of it. I do like to research and design the costume, but I don't necessarily make or build it. I do make or build portions of it, but not the whole thing. I would categorize that as being a costumer. So I would say I'm more of a cosplayer.
How did you end up with a sweetheart like Shelby?
Aww.
Hey! No one was trying or anything. It just happened. Right?